everyone. Please take your support that you use. Be it bricks, foams, come and sit, swastika sign. And for today, just cross your legs the least habitual way. Release the buttock flesh back to expose the knuckles of the buttock bones into that firmness. And take your hands to your left thigh, rolling that inner groin down and spreading the back thigh out. So right from the pit of your back thigh, roll it from the inside out so that the back groin rests down into the support. And then do likewise with the right leg. So it's like you externally rotate that back thigh, allowing the inner groin to descend and the back groin to puff out onto that support. And then check, are you truly sitting equally? Left, right, front, back, inner, outer, buttock. Let them ground you into the earth. Bring the palms into Atma Anjali Mudra. Softly let the eyes come closed. Bring your awareness to the inner body. And right from the equanimity of the buttocks descending, can you broadly ease upwards through those three vast caves of the abdominal cavity, thoracic cavity, head cavity. And allow the breath to flow through those caves, full and free. Totally unconditional breath as you breathe in, as you breathe out. Allowing the breath to settle, be smooth. And as the breath flows through those three caves, can you allow that silent speech of Om to vibrate, resonate through each one of those caves? Internally chanting Om. You feel intuitively, maybe it's the inhale that the Om is chanted. Maybe it's the exhale. Maybe it's both. Maybe with each breath, there are many Om, Om, Om. Or maybe it's just one long Om. Check where the sound of the universe resonates and vibrates for you today. Complete the breath you're on. Bow your head to your heart and make your own inner acknowledgements. Setting up your intention, your sankalpa for today. Rest your hands onto your inner knees. Raise your head and open your eyes. Once more, come back to this awareness of the space. Beginning in this abdominal cavity that becomes broad, vast, resting back into its rightful position. So when we're lying in a supine position, it's easy to feel how the abdomen broadly sinks back into that abdominal cave. So often when we're sitting, there's a tendency to pump it forwards. Can you keep coming back to that reference of broadly settling it back? Like I so often say, like a pool of water. The water doesn't pump up to the top of the container. It rests back. So have that same sense of soft spaciousness. And then bring your fingertips to the floor. Pressing your hands down and forward. Pin your outer hips back and down. And create that space, still maintaining that sense of the front of the abdomen broadly to the back of the abdomen. Then you start to ease the arms forward, but pause every now and then. If I demonstrate sideways, you want to, as you go forward, to keep this abdomen broadly moving from the pubis to the thoracic diaphragm. So that as you go forward, the abdomen almost becomes bigger. And then as you breathe out, you can rest the abdomen back to the spine. Allow the heart center to open and lift the sternum from the base to the sternal notch and ease further forward. Shoulder blades onto the back body. This dorsal into the back to open and spread the heart center. Adho Mukha Swastika. See how you can ease forward. You maybe need to come up, lift these lower front ribs, open your heart center to go more. From there, come up. Stretch your legs away from you. Just open the back of the knees for a moment. When the knees feel comfortable, cross your legs the other way. And now, if you can, come off your support. I'm going to once more do this sideways. So, creating all this space. Lift up. So the hands can pull back, press down. Open not only this abdominal cavity, open your heart center and lift it up to the sternal notch. Broaden your collarbones and go further. Keep coming up every now and then as the body opens to go further. Outer hips draw back and down to ease further forward. So from the stability of that base, go forwards. And from there, up. Stretch your legs away from you. And from there, go and get your chair. Put a blanket over the backrest of your chair. And just to check, when you raise, I'm going to start with my left leg so that you can see the action. When you start and you raise this leg onto the backrest, ensure that the hips remain aligned. So if you find that this hip is tipping up when you put your foot on the backrest, take the leg lower. You could even build it up slightly with some of your firms. And then come and stand in front of the chair. Slightly part the feet. They're not quite as wide as the hips, sort of 2 centimeters apart. And then from there, raise your left leg up. Check that your right leg remains absolutely vertical, so you don't lean forward into the pose. So from there, left leg up. And now, root down through the soles of the feet. Draw upwards. Inner groins move back. So your left inner groin will descend to the floor. This right inner groin move back. If you had done the class before, you will know that I said nail this inner groin to the floor. Outer thighs move back. Now compact your outer hips. Feel like you really squeeze the femur heads into the pelvis. So it's like you want to bring them almost together as one. From there, take your arms up into Urdhva. Now front thighs to back thighs, and just like you were doing in Adho Mukha Swastikasana, hinge forward. Bring your hands to the wall. Don't go down. Think up. So as you compact these hips, feel as if you're going to lift the whole of this vast abdomen up and out of the hip girdle. Broaden across the collarbones to lift the sternum more. Front thighs to back thighs. Hinge forward. Press the inner heels, the mound of the big toes, a little more into the floor or the wall, and lift up. Compact those outer hips to shoot up. And then from there, come up. Now, swivel on this right heel and turn. I'm facing the back for the moment. And slide your left leg a little further forward, so that this left inner thigh externally rotates. Remember, a few classes ago, that fist into the butt. So same thing here. Root the mound of that left big toe into the wall, externally rotate this inner thigh. Knees should then be aligned. Scoop that left buttocks into the body, arms up. And now from there, keeping this left side of the trunk as long as the right, bring your left hand to the wall. Compact the hip. So one way is to just sit into that hip. What about compacting it? Bringing the femur heads deep into the pelvis. And turn the whole of your trunk, right from scooping this left buttocks in. Broadly turn the abdomen left to right. Breathe. From there, come up. Bring the arms down. Adjust your left leg. Swivel on this right heel if you need to. Adjust it some. Out some. Arms up, and now coming into Parivrita. Turn the abdomen right to left, and from there hinge. Bring your hand to the wall. Don't think down so much as up. So as you compact the hips, it's like there's capacity to shoot that energy upwards, and in that space, twist and turn. Press the mound of the left big toe into the wall as you inhale, as you exhale. Broadly soften the abdomen and turn. From there, come back to center. Release, let go. And come standing in front of your chair. Just be aware of the difference. Front thighs back, abdomen back. Raise your right leg. Compact these outer hips. So there's a tremendous sense of, as the hips come in, as the femur heads settle into the pelvic girdle, the whole of the trunk lifts up. It's like there's energy shooting up through the spine. Take the arms up, over the head, front thighs to back thighs. Pin those inner groins back. Take your hands to the wall. Think up. So create space in this abdominal cavity. Settle the dorsal into the back. So think space in the sternum lifting up, so the thoracic cavity becomes spacious. Arms up, bring the arms down, swiveling on that left heel, turn to face forwards, shift this right foot slightly further forwards, roll that inner thigh out, right buttock into the body, and from there hinged. Keeping this right side of the trunk as long as the left. Put your hand to the wall, compact those hips, bring them into the body, and from there, as you breathe out, turn the whole of your trunk right to left. Scoop that right buttocks into the body. Inhale, come up. Bring the arms down. Bring this foot back to center. Swivel on your left heel. Take the arms up. Urdhva Hastasana. Uttita Hasta Padangustasana. We're doing it supported now. And then from there, turn, lengthen that left side of the trunk. Put your left hand to the wall, nice support. And from there, turn. Every inhale, press a little more through the inner legs. Press that mound of the right big toe away from you. Every exhale, broadly soften the abdomen back. Keep the broadness as well as you turn. And then come back to center. Release. Let go. Part your feet as wide as the mat. Just fold forward. Sternum long, spacious abdomen. So at no time in your practice should you feel that the abdomen is compressing at this stage. Just feel that it's becoming more and more spacious. Make the front body longer. Let the abdomen rest to the spine. And from there, come up. You can move your chair. And come and stand in Tadasana, feet apart, for Uttanasana and Padangustasana. Take your arms up. Ease the backwards up to the fingertips. And from there, front thighs to back thighs. So now as you hinge forward, keep your arms up. And from there, inner groins move back. Outer hips move back. So these front thighs settle to the thigh bone. Coming to Ardha and Urdhva Mukha, Uttanasana. Lengthen the abdomen. Settle the dorsal into the back. So the front and the back body like two parallel lines. If you find that the dorsal's pumping up, they're your bricks or your chair. But keep this heart center open, sternum extending from the base to the sternal notch. And now from there, hinging a little further, take hold of the neck of the big toe with the index finger, middle finger, press the thumb into those. Now, rotate your inner upper arms out and look forward. Make the front body long. Front thighs to back thighs. And from there, ease the inner elbows widely out as you release the head down. Padangustasana. Pada is the foot and gusta, the big toe. Press down through that mound of the big toe, through the neck of the big toe, and pull with your fingers to pull the sternum down. Make the abdomen broad and long. Shoulder blades deep into the back. Breathe. Spread and open your abdomen, your heart. Let the crown of the head just rest down. Pull the neck of the big toe as if you're going to pull the toes out of their joint and bring the shoulder blades deeper into the back. And now as you stay in the pose, deepen those inner groins back. Puff out the back groins and spread the pit of your back thigh from the inside out. Make the whole of the back thigh broad
And move the front thigh into the broadness of the back. From there, walk your hands forward, come up, extend the head forward, put your hands on the front of your thighs and come stand. Breathe. So this back thigh wants to spread from the inside out and become wider. So these back groins puff out. Pada Hastasana. Take the arms up and over the head, lift those backwards, create space in the abdominal, the thoracic cavity, hinge forward once more. Urdhva Mukha, upward facing Uttanasana. From there, take your hands and slip your hands under the soles of the feet. The middle finger comes to the center of your heel. Root down through the mound of your big toe. Feel like you're almost going to fall forwards. Spread the abdomen. Lengthen the sternum. Settle the dorsal into the back, and now keeping the abdomen broad and long. Don't let it shorten in any way. The minute it shortens, that's where you stop. And from there, come releasing the head down. Dare to bring the weight a little more to the balls of the feet. Feel how the heels are heavy. Can you make them light? Now, inner groins back, outer hips back. Puff out those back groins and spread the pit of your back thigh. Make your back thigh as wide as your collarbones, as wide as your thoracic diaphragm, as wide as the abdomen. Breathe. From there, release your hands, walk your hands forward, lift your head, lengthen the abdomen, lengthen the sternum. Put your hands on your thighs, come up and set yourself up for Shirshasana. If you need to go to the wall, please do so. We're going to do two variations similar to your Utthita Hasta Padangustasana. One is Ekapada, where you bring the one leg straight down in front of you. The other one is Pajva Ekapada, where if this is your one leg, you take the other leg out to the side. I've set up for a 7-minute Shirshasana. Please, if that is too long for you, you know to come down. I'm going to do facing towards the screen. So if you need the wall, please go to the side, wherever you need to take yourself. So the usual interlock of the fingers, the rooting down of the elbows, the center of the forearm, the outer elbows in line with the outer shoulders. Just like you root the center of your buttocks down in Swastikasana, can you root the very center of the crown of your head down for Shirshasana? Give yourself a moment to come into the pose, to settle, drop that plumb line right from the pelvic floor through the crown of the head. Just be for a moment. Allow yourself to come onto your axis, to find that still, quiet space. And then begin to check in. Are you rooting down equally through left and right wrist? Center the forearm bone. Can you draw those inner elbows subtly towards each other to spread across the collarbones, upper shoulder blades? And in that rooting down, are you onto the very center of the crown of the head so that energy can spiral upwards through and around the whole of the spinal column, all the way through the inner legs? Can you stand the whole of the horseshoe shape of the heel into the ceiling equally? Inner, middle, outer heel. And once you've set yourself up, compact your outer hips, just like you were doing in Utthita Hasta, Padangusthasa. Bring the head of the femur deep into the pelvic girdle. So the outer thighs move to the inner thighs. And then moving your inner thigh muscles to the thigh bone, move your inner thighs to the outer thighs. Relift. Move the inner groins back. And spread those back thighs by puffing out the back legs. Now bring your awareness to the abdomen. As you breathe out, broadly spread that vast abdominal cave back to the backbone. Keeping the extension through the inner legs. Inhale, and as you exhale, bring your right leg down. Ekapada Shirshasana. Keep the hips compact, so it's not about how far the leg goes down. It's how do I maintain that alignment in my hips and the straight legs. Open the back of the knees. Raise the right leg up. Ekapada Shirshasana. Abdomen broadly back. Compact your outer hips and bring the left leg down. Keep reaching up through that inner right heel. Press your inner left heel away from you and pin those inner groins back. Spread the pit of the back thigh, especially that left leg. And raise the left leg up. Abdomen broadly back, keep lifting through the inner legs. Compact your outer hips, turn your right leg out, 45 degrees. Keep your left leg absolutely stable as you take your right leg out to the right. Pajva Ekapada Shirshasana. Scoop that right buttocks into the body. Remember, Utthita Hasta, Padangusthasa. Raise your right leg up. Keep coming back to your axis. Turn the left leg out. Taking the left leg away and down. Compact your outer hips. Inner groins, pin them back. From there, raise the left leg up. Roll the inner thighs back. Puff up those back groins. Spread the back thighs. Come back onto your axis. Be on the very center of the crown of your head. Check in, is there a tendency to sway to the left or the right, front or back? Find that outer stability, inner stillness, inner space. As you breathe, allow the inner space to become vast. Extending through your inner heels, front thighs to back thighs. Coming down slowly, slowly. Press the heels away from you. Open the backs of the knees. Part your knees and come and rest into Adho Mukha Virasana. Relax your shoulders, relax your neck. For some of you, it might have been a slightly longer than usual Shirshasana. So just stay down, rest. Breathe. And come sitting up. Open your mat. And take your chair. Come and take a support. I'm going to sit on a foam for today. And taking my chair. Be in Dandasana, taking your legs through the chair and have your feet hip width. Draw the buttock flesh back, just like you did in Swastikasana. Roll the inner thighs, the back thighs from the inside out, allowing those inner groins to strongly descend and the back groins to puff out. So when you're sitting on a support, come right to the front of the support so that you're not restricting the pit of this back thigh. The pit of the back thigh is right on that edge, so the back groins can puff out. And then taking your legs through, lift up. Put your hands onto the seat of the chair. Press the feet, if possible, can you press the feet into that back bar of the chair, especially the inner mound of the big toe, and lift up. So as you spread the pit of the back thigh, let these inner groins puff down into the floor. It's like those inner groins, those back groins, you nail into the floor. Feel how the front thighs drape heavily over the thigh bone, and the lower front thigh, this area above the knee joint, can you move that as much into the floor as you move in your back groins? Take your arms forward and lift up. So there's a compactness subtly of the hips into the hip joint to ease upwards, and now start to hinge forward. But think of that abdominal cave becoming more and more spacious. It's like this pool is filling up more and more with water. So the more we go forward, the bigger, the more spacious we need to make that pool. Walking forwards, lift the stomach, open your heart center. So at all times, energetically, we're lifting the front of the body from the base to the collarbones, particularly the sternum bone up. And that's why this dorsal thoracic into the back is so important, because it gets this lift for you. Urdhva Mukha, upward facing Paschimottanasana. And I'm sitting. So you can move your chair out of the way. If you need it, please, you can come back to using it. Bring your feet together. And from here,
Bend up your right leg and bring your right knee back for Janu Shirshasana. So rolling the whole of this inner thigh out. Remember, like we did in the standing poses, but still this buttock bone scoots into the body. So just because this thigh is rolling back, it doesn't let that go. Buttock bone deep into the body. Scoop your left buttocks back. Take your hands to the ball of the foot. Urdhva Mukha, Janu Shirshasana. Please, those of you that need the belt, you know that it's here. Draw the upper arms into the shoulder socket. That contributes to bringing that dorsal. Lift and spread your sternum. Now inhale, lift up. Exhale, softly, broadly, turn the abdomen left to right and come forwards. Take your hands to the floor for a moment and push down to lift up. From there, exhale. Let your left hand hold your right wrist and now push a little more into that inner right heel. Inhale, broadly lengthen the sternum. Exhale, come forwards. Keep the neck spine in line with the rest and the natural curve of the spinal column. So it's one thing to get the head down, but then my lumbar, my dorsal comes up. So rather keeping the head up, so the dorsal moves in and my head's in line in its natural curve of the spine. From there, come up. Draw this knee up. Marichasana 1. So here, once more, that inner groin, that back groin pinned down. Take the arms forward, holding the foot. Now lift up. So use that pressing away with the foot to draw back the upper arms into the shoulder socket. And then from there, lifting up, hinge forward, going as far as you can, but keeping that dorsal into the back. Now, release your right arm, wrap it around the shin. Press that shin back with your right upper arm. Press that shin back. Rest your right hand onto the lumbar. Wrap your left arm around. Now your right hand holds your left wrist. Pull your hands down to lift the front body further. Roll the shoulders back and dig that dorsal into the back to take the sternum further forward. Standing to the inner edge of your right foot, hit that right shin back to shoot the spine forward. Inhale, come up. And then from there, you've already got the leg tucked up. Just tuck it to the side and take that support and slip it just underneath your left buttock bone. So the right buttocks is descending so that you can align the hips. If you need to sit higher on this raised buttock, please do. Take another phone. Fold your blanket more deeply. From there, compact the hips, arms up to come forward. Triyan Mukha, Ekapada Paschimottanasana. Take your left hand to hold your right wrist once more. Lift up. Broadly lift the abdomen, broadly lift the sternum, broaden the collarbones. So taking your elbows up and out allows a broadness to the collarbones. And now bring that dorsal into the back to open your heart center. Breathe. Puff out that back groin, the lower front thigh. Remember where I demonstrated, just above the knee joint. Press that down to lift up and extend. Inhale and come up. And from there, release your right leg and come and sit on your phone, your support, your blankets, whatever you're sitting on, Dandasana. Just be there for a moment, come back to neutral. Feel the difference in the left and the right side of the body. As I so often say, This area should not be feeling anything. There should be, yes, a little bit of warmth, but no ache, no pain. If there's going to be any aching, any hard work, any pressure, any rajas going into this pose, it's here. So we're hinging through the hip joint. If we go too low, there's that tendency to suddenly start bending in the waist. So rather be higher. And then from there, bend up your left leg. Draw this right buttocks back. So this left inner thigh rolls back, just like you were doing earlier on. You root that left buttocks into the body. It moves in so that the whole of the trunk can face forwards. From there, take your hands to the floor for a moment. Press your hands down. Press that back groin down. Press this lower front thigh down to get that lift, to get that space. You've got so many things assisting you. Pin that inner left knee away and down to lift and turn. And then from there, take your right hand to hold your left wrist. Lift up. Press a little more into the inner heel to draw the upper arms into the shoulder socket. Dorsal into the back. Keep your heart center open and spreading, and your sternum lifting to the sternal notch to come forward. Back groin, press it into the floor. Lower front thigh, press it into the floor. Keep your head on its natural curve of the neck. So I can drop my head and get my head down, but then my back comes up. Spacious heart, spacious abdominal cavity. Ease the inner elbows up and out to the side to broaden the collarbones. And come up. Bend up your left knee. Press a little more into that mound of the left big toe. Pin this back groin down to the floor, lower front thigh to the floor, come forwards. Put your hands onto the ball of the foot for the moment and press that mound of the big toe away from you. Press the whole of the ball of the foot away. Then you can draw the upper arms into the shoulder socket. Feel the action takes place here. Dorsal into the back. And then from there, release your left arm. Wrap it around as low down that shin, putting it onto your lumbar, and then wrap your right arm round. Left hand holds the right wrist. Now, broaden your collarbones as you pull your hands back and down. Stand the back of that right leg into the floor and shoot your spine forwards. Base of the skull eases up off the top of the spine. Quiet, sattvic head. Use the breath to take you further, deeper. Deeper, long inhalation to extend the sternum forwards. Exhalation to soften the abdomen broadly back. I'm sitting up. And then from there, tuck your left leg under into that half virasana and slip your foam just underneath your right buttocks. Knees together. Compact your hips so this back groin moves down, puffs down. So you can see the pit of this back thigh is not on the support, it's just off the support. Allowing it to puff open into the floor. So much I move it down, it's almost touching the floor. Spread that back thigh from the inside out. Move this lower front thigh down to the floor and from there come forwards. Once more, Your right hand will hold your left wrist. Press the back of that thigh into the floor, that back groin into the floor. Lift, spread your sternum, broaden the abdomen, ease the inner elbows to go forward. Press a little more into the inner heel. So your outer upper arms, draw back the shoulder into the shoulder socket. Dig that dorsal into the back and come forwards. Inhale, come up. Stretch your left leg away from you. Be onto your phone. And for today, for Paschimottanasana, we're going to support the head. For me, I tend to use firms and my bricks. For those of you that need to go higher, please take your chair. If you're using the chair, have your feet at least as wide as the legs of the chair. But what's most important is the space of the abdomen, space of the heart center to come forwards. So even if you need to put additional firms here, then you can be up. Even if you need to turn the chair the other way. And you're sitting up. Keep this space, but find the complete support for this area of the forehead, that space in between your eyebrows. So I know for me, what I do is I prop my bricks up so that my foams don't collapse over the side, and I put my foams there. So some of you might want to even take your bricks and put your bricks in between your feet, but have a support where the head is on the neck and the neck curve is maintained. It's not that you're taking the head forward to get the head down. The head is the last thing that comes into that quiet position. So setting yourself up, whether on the chair or on these foams, draw the buttock flesh firmly back. Take those back thighs and roll them out so that you're really giving space for the back groins to cup out and these back thighs to spread, be broad, so that the front thighs settling down have a lot of space there. Lower front thigh, press that down so you'll find the back of the knee comes into the floor. And from there, inhale, hinge forward, take hold of the outer feet. If you're using the belt, if you're using the chair, have some purchase to press away and pull the upper arms back into the shoulder socket. Spread the abdomen broadly, lift it up, lift these lower back ribs so that as you come forward into this Paschimottanasana, it's the lower abdomen that connects first, then the lower front ribs, then last of all, the head comes to the support. For those of you that can, you can once more let one hand hold the wrist of the other. Lift up once more. Wiggle those lower front ribs forward. Spread your heart center. Open it outwards and towards the sternal notch. Ease the sternum bone broadly forward. And now find that support for your head. Spread that skin in between your eyebrows. Let it be broad and let it ease down to your heart center. Let that area of the skin in between your eyebrows become thin and soft. Like there's a little eye opening in that space. Gazing inwards, outwards, quietly, just being the observer. Breathe. Complete the breath you're on. Take your hands to your outer thighs or onto your chair and come quietly sitting up. Aware of the quietness that has come about in these forward bends, particularly Paschimottanasana. Take your hands behind you and just ease back. Oh, I'm fortunate I've got the room here. Just a subtle arch back. And from there, release, come sitting up. And take your chair, everyone. Put the backrest of the chair up against the wall. Come and lie down for Chatushpadasana. Put your feet onto the arms of the chair, grip the lower front legs, and from there, press your shoulders down, pull your hands down, lift your buttocks up and come and stand your feet onto the seat of the chair. Tuck your shoulders underneath you. Keep the front walls of the throat open so the breath flows easily. Middle buttocks into the body. So if there's any aching in the lower back now, give it space. Move those middle buttocks in. Bring the tail to the pubis. Move the pubic plate towards the tail. Abdomen broadly back. And release. Come down. And just for a moment, rest there. Palms onto the seat of the chair. And then roll over to the side. Come up. And take your 2 bricks. For Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. So you can take your 2 bricks, one horizontal, one on its narrow edge. Otherwise, 2 bricks together for Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. So come and lie down. Legs are bent. Lift your hips and put your bricks either next to each other vertically to touch, and they weigh down more in the tailbone area than the sacrum. If they're going to be anywhere on the sacrum, it's right at the base of the sacrum where it meets the tailbone. If you need to be lower, remember it's 1 brick flat and 1 brick on its narrow edge. Same thing, low down under the buttocks. So right at the base of the sacrum. And for today, don't straighten your legs. Grip the edge of the sticky mat, tuck your shoulders underneath you, turn your inner upper arms out, turn your toes inside. Move the middle buttocks into the body as if away from the bricks. Coil your tail into the body and broadly rest your abdomen back into that support of the backbone. The heart center is naturally open. The lift from the base of the sternum to the top of the sternum. Spread the collarbones. With each inhalation and exhalation, become broad and internally spacious in the abdomen, the chest, and the head.
So this is just a gentle counter pose for any aches that might have settled in your forward bends. And from there, complete the breath you're on. No matter where you are, which setup of the bricks, just lift your hips. 1 millimeter, 2 centimeters, abdomen resting back, come back to that support. Once more, lift your hips, come back to that support. All of you, tuck your left leg towards your chest and raise your left leg up to the vertical. Lift that left heel as if somebody has gripped your left ankle. Lift up through the left leg. Like your left leg's going to touch the ceiling. Bend your left leg. Tuck your right leg up to your chest as close as you can, and then stretch your right leg up. Keep the heart center open. Keep the dorsal deep into the back. It's like you're doing a back bend. Now lift up your right leg. So if you're going to come off the bricks and release. If you feel a bit insecure, hold your bricks. Otherwise, tuck both legs up and stretch both legs up to the ceiling. Stretch, chest open. The more you lift the legs, the more you pump the chest open. Bend your legs, lift your hips, and remove whatever props you have and rest your back into the floor. Rest the lumbar down. So often after a practice like this, I'm so grateful for the mobility, but stability, especially in the lumbar sacral area. We're bending forwards and then this gentle back bend. We have the mobility but the stability to be able to do it. Such gratitude. Roll over to your side, come up, and take a support for yourself. I'm going to, for today, use my 4 foams as a little bolster so that the legs are slightly bent. Especially after doing a forward bend pass, sometimes that lower back does ache. So rest your legs, drape your legs over that support. Pull on your sticky mat. Tuck your shoulders underneath you like you did Setu Bandha. And allow the whole of this armpit arm to just roll out, allowing the shoulders to rest, melt into the earth. Let go the groins, the inner, the back bones. Let go the bones of the legs. Let go the bones in the trunk, spine, ribs, hips. Let go the bones in the arms, as if they're just resting into the earth. Go all the bones within the head, jaw bones, skull. Breathe out completely. Feel as if the bones become so soft, they become like vast spaces in the body. Let go completely.
Keeping your eyes closed, gently bend your elbows, bring your palms onto your abdomen. And feel the gentle rise and fall of your palms as you breathe in, as you breathe out. Hold the legs towards the medial line and raise one leg up at a time, resting your feet on that support. Deepen the lumbar into the floor, even maybe push it slightly into the floor. Feel how that lower back feels. Extend your right arm over your head, roll onto your right, round to your back. As if you're curling yourself into a little ball. Keep the head quiet, heavy, passive. Press down with your left hand to curl your spine. Come sitting in Sukhasana. Happy, contented pose. Arms in Atma-Anjali Mudra. Bring your awareness inwards once more to that space of inner contentment, gratitude for practice, gratitude for our gurus, Iyengar, Gitaji, Prashantji. Namaste.